I grew up next door to a fire station, EMS station in a small town in Ohio. I started riding the ambulance when I was about 14, and that's all I've ever done. It's very rewarding. On several occasions I've had people come up to me when I've been in plain clothes, not knowing them, and they say things to me like, you know, you picked me up in the ambulance and did this or that, or one man came up to me and knew my name and said, I saved his life.
I originally moved down here from West Virginia. I've been in EMS for about the last 25 years. I was a paramedic up there and then moved down here. And honestly, it was just something I always wanted to do. I've got a lot of friends that chose that profession, so just by being around them, it just looked like it would be a rewarding job. You can't start your education too soon. I think, especially if you want to get into the fire EMS side or even just the EMS side of the profession, start taking EMT classes, start taking college anatomy and physiology when you have those opportunities, and then that just puts you one step closer to achieving that goal of becoming a paramedic or becoming an EMT.
Started as a teenage volunteer at Maryview back in the 70s. The emergency room was always, you know, cool. Worked med-surg for 11 years, thought maybe I can do it, want to do it. Went over to Maryview one day just to see what was open and got hired. It's really neat when my husband tells people he knows, yes, she's an emergency room nurse. He actually got to see me do a full trauma assessment Christmas Day 2 years ago. There was a guy in the middle of the road. We were going to his parents' house and I made him stop and did a full trauma assessment, and he was just, you know. So he's proud of me, so that's really cool.
Hey, get involved. It is fun. You make lifelong friends. I have friends. I met my husband when I was on rescue. So it's just a blast.
7264.
It's really rewarding. I enjoy it. You meet a lot of really good people. It's one of the few things that you do that you get instant gratification out of helping somebody every day.
I'm a volunteer there for 39 years, but I also have the best job in the world. I recruit volunteers for the Virginia Beach Rescue Squad system as a recruitment coordinator for the Virginia Beach Rescue Squad Foundation. It's rewarding for me is the fact that I could get back to the community. Today's environment for people, we have the 18-year-olds to the baby boomers and beyond, and people come into it for different reasons today. My pleasure today is still being able to run on the street, but to be able to go out and talk to other people and say, you know, here's your opportunity not only to get back to the community, but maybe if you're looking for changing careers or a new career, if you're just starting out in the medical field, the training is free. You meet great people, make great friends for life, and you can't pass it up.
About 8 years ago, I started with the volunteer EMS system in Virginia Beach, went through their first responder, then their EMT, realized I wanted to do more for my community, so I pursued my nursing career, and after graduation started emergency room. You see all sorts of people and you realize what kind of need we have in our area now for the trauma and the medical, and realize that now it's not just in the doctor's office. It's really people that come from the street who may not have the means to see a doctor and need the medical care. Seek out those opportunities to volunteer in your community, get involved in your churches. When you see EMS out, really thank them and ask questions.
I started at the end of high school as a volunteer getting involved. I was both a Boy Scout first aider and a lifeguard, and it was a natural progression. Somebody got me a ride-along time where I went out and got to go see how it worked, and I got involved with EMS in Virginia Beach as a volunteer. If you're interested, you should get involved right away. It's a good way to help your community. You feel good about yourself, you get feedback from the people that you help, and there is a sense of giving, and you feel like you're helping make your community a better place.
Riding in the truck, saving people's lives, I just like doing stuff like that, just helping people.
I found it interesting kind of to learn about their body and stuff, and then I just thought firefighting made good money and the schedule was good, so I decided I'd try it.
I love it all. Going out there and you're making a difference for your community.
I told my mother at the age of 4 that I wanted to be a paramedic. I grew up watching the show Emergency, and so that's how I've always patterned my schooling and my career. It's supported my family for well over 20 years. I love it. I'm still motivated every day. I enjoy running calls. I want to be busy all the time. But most of all, I like helping people. I like to see the difference we make from taking somebody who's really critical and getting them to the hospital alive, and most of the time is better, and then hearing the feedback at the end of how well they did, or whether a life was saved, or they just are better because of us. It's a rewarding career. I would say get as much education as possible. It's going to be a lot of sacrifices. You're away from the house, you're away from your family, you're not in your own bed most of the time, and it really takes a strong family unit to support that, but also just work hard and know that there's going to be sacrifices going into it.
The satisfaction of knowing that you can really help people and it makes a difference, and this is a real critical time in their lives. If they call 911 and we come, then that's a time that really is very important to them, because they are totally stressed out. So by coming to them and getting them to relax and to work with things in a very positive fashion, then you know that you've come to them at a point where they're probably not going to forget that moment and how they felt about it and the crisis that they were going through.